Okay, hi, Melina here, and I usually have a problem making these videos too long, but it's also because there's way too many books, because, like I said, I have a problem. I work in a bookstore, I have a really good discount, and I have an impulse control problem in which it doesn't exist. So, now that we got that out of the way, there's like 20 plus books here to share, and I'm just going to go through them. I might not go through the synopsis of all of them, because there's a little stack that are kind of impulse buys, so I don't know too much in depth of what they are, but I'll try to summarize why I got them the best I can. Okay, so the first stack here is, they're the first 3 books that I purchased this year. I'm not going in any specific order, it's just these were ones that I was really excited about. If you've seen my last book haul for December, I got an arc of Iron Gold by Pierce Brown, which is the 4th book in the Red Rising series. I've always wanted to get into the Red Rising series, but I have never owned nor read any of them. And after I got Iron Gold, I was looking to see, and we didn't have any of them traded in, like, of the first book. So I was like, okay, I can't get it for cheap, but I'll get it, you know, new, and just do that. And, right when I was planning on buying it new, which, like, a soft cover nowadays is $15, I swear, it's ridiculous the way that, like, the book industry's going. When I was gonna do that, I look on a cart of new trade-ins that we got, and we got the entire trilogy traded in. So, apparently I forgot to take off the stickers. So, I got the first book for $5. So we got Red Rising, the second book, Iron Gold, for $7.40. So I guess it was more money. And then the last one, which is, like, huge and, like, oddly shaped, bigger than most of them, is Morning Star, which was $10. I paid, obviously, slightly cheaper for these through my discount, but still that means that roughly for the same amount that I would have spent for the first one, I got the entire trilogy. So, I couldn't really pass that up. Next, here, we have, usually every month I get Stephen King, because I'm trying to collect all of his books, and I have a Stephen King problem. So, the one that kind of reiterates the fact that I have a problem is, It by Stephen King. For anybody who actually knows me, you'll know that I already own 2 copies of It. I own the very original, like, first edition that ever came out in hardcover, that my sister got me, and then I bought the 2017 movie tie-in cover, like, last year. But this one was the last one that I was like, I absolutely need this. And then, so when I seen it, we got it traded in, so it was $10, so I spent, like, $6 on it, and I could justify buying this for $6. I'm done buying copies of It. There's a few more editions that I still wouldn't mind owning, but I'm done for now. This is it. And then the only other Stephen King that I bought this month was one that I've been wanting for years, like literally since like 2014 or 2012, somewhere like a long time ago. And that is Full Dark, No Stars, and this is one of his short story anthologies. I don't really know much about it, and I don't even think that any of his like super famous ones are from this one, but this is the one that I've always wanted to read. So now I have it. Next. I have a Star Wars problem. And, so I compulsively buy Star Wars stuff, and one of those things, since I love books, is Star Wars books. I have obtained 4 Star Wars related books, in the month of January, so, yeah. The first one here was only like $2 at my job, and it is The Princess Diarist by Carrie Fisher. This is a non-fiction memoir book about Carrie Fisher's life, specifically during when she was filming the Star Wars films, because most of her other memoirs are about, like, addiction and stuff like that, so this one is specifically about her being Princess Leia and her affair with Harrison Ford and stuff, and I've heard that the audiobook is fantastic because it's narrated by her, and the sections in this book that I've heard are poetry are narrated by her daughter, Billie Lourd, which if you have seen The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, she is in. And I'm so ready for it. Carrie Fisher, you know, passed away, and so lots of people said that even though this is really short, this is a very hard book to read, and she recently, within this year, won a Grammy for Best Spoken Word for the audiobook of this book, so I'm just so ready for this, and I needed it. Then I got at the Dollar Tree Star Wars Rebels Battle to the End. I haven't seen Rebels yet, but it was a Star Wars book that was $1, and it was brand new, and it was pretty, and it has the occasional pictures, and I don't know, there's a problem. Then this next book, I didn't actually purchase. It was a, not gift, but my sister got it for me because we had a bet over, like, something stupid, and she ended up losing, because I'm usually right with these things, and, so she was like, oh, whoever loses has to buy the other, like, a drink at work, and I was like, I don't really want a drink. Buy me something that's the equivalent of a drink, and then the next day when we went to work, we got this traded in, and it was like $2, so it was like the equivalent of like a drink price, and I asked her to get it for me. This is Bloodline by Claudia Gray, who is kind of the most infamous person for writing Star Wars books. This is all about Princess Leia, and it is one of those things that's in preparation for The Force Awakens. So I finally own that. And then one that I was going to buy full price, and every single time that I'm almost going to buy something full price, it seems like we get it traded in for cheap, and it's a sign that I should own it, you know? And that is Phasma by Delia S. Dawson. This is actually the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. This is one of the Journey to the Last Jedi books, and yeah, it's just all about Captain Phasma's life, and I want to know more about her, so there you go. Okay, this next pile is going to be called Books That I've Been Wanting for a While, and so I justified buying them because they were all cheap. So yes, the first one here is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. It's a classic I've been wanting to get into for a long time. I bought it for basically like $1, and I collect the Collins Classic editions, so when I seen that we had one at my job for cheap, I picked it up. Next, we have Note to Self by Connor Franta. This is his newest book. I bought it for like $3 or $4, and I was actually going to wait until it went on softcover so that I can afford to buy it for like $12 rather than like 20 something, and we got it traded in, and kind of quick story time. I was watching a Connor Franta video, the newest one that he just posted for 2018, and talking about goals and stuff that he wants to get done this year, and then he said to put your goals in the comments. I did, and he commented back to me saying, I believe in you, and now I firmly believe that all of those goals that I listed in that comment will be completed this year, because Connor Franta believes in me. This is a diary / collection of poetry and of his photography. Connor Franta is a YouTuber. This is nonfiction. I'm excited about it. Next here, we have one that I've been waiting for us to get traded in, and we finally did, and that is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. It is famous. It has so many awards. Everyone on BookTube who's read it loves it, and it has a TV show now. So I'm ready for it. I might do the audiobook and read along with it. I don't know yet. Yes. Next one. We got The Merciless 2 by Daniel Vega. This is The Exorcism of Sofia Flores, the second book in the Merciless series. I read the first one 2-3 years ago, and I love the covers. They're like naked hardbacks, and this one's really shiny. It's basically about like teen girls getting possessed by demons and stuff. It's fantastic, and it's one of the most disturbing books I've ever read, and I read Stephen King. So I was excited for the second one. This one, the only one that I've actually owned out of this entire stack, that I've actually read before in this entire stack, and that is The Austere Academy by Lemony Snicket. This is the 5th book in the series of Unfortunate Events. I have read all of them, and this is always, when I was a kid, this has always been my favorite. When I reread them, this has been my favorite. And I finally own it, so now I'm only missing books 4, 8, 9, and 13. So, yes. Next, for like $2, I found My True Love Gave to Me, a collection anthology by YA authors for the holidays / winters, edited by Stephanie Perkins. Yes, this is gonna be something I read in December. Then, me and one of my coworkers were talking about Shauna Maguire, and I was thinking about how much I always wanted to get into Every Heart a Doorway because everyone talks about it, and then we got it traded in, so I got it for like $4. Yes, everyone knows what this is about if you are on BookTube at all. Next, for like $1 and change, I finally got Sisterhood Everlasting by Anne Brashares. This is the 5th book in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants series. I own and have read the first 3, so I just need to read books 4 and 5. This is the only one that isn't a book for teens. This is takes place like 10 years after the events of the first 4 books, and yeah, needed it. Next, I freaked out when I saw this on a cart traded in for like $2. This is Without Merit by Colleen Hoover. This is her newest release. I have no idea what it's about besides the fact that it's about twins. I read the little excerpt that she released for people on Goodreads, and I was obsessed with it, and I bought it for my mom for Christmas, and now we both have it, so we're gonna buddy read it eventually. Yes. That's about it for the ones that I've been wanting for a while, and then the last stack is like did I really need these books? At the time that I bought them, I felt like I needed them, and now I have a connection to them, and I can't get rid of them. Well, one that I had been planning for about a month to get, so it wasn't super impulsy, was Me by Ricky Martin. This is obviously a non-fiction memoir book of Ricky Martin's life. He is a Latino gay man, and, yeah, same, except woman. My mother and I bought 2 copies of this, one for me and one for my mom, and we are going to buddy read this during June for Pride, you know, spreading the gay Hispanic love, you know? Okay, what else? Oh, well, this one was very impulsy, and honestly, I wouldn't have bought it under different circumstances, at least not anytime soon in my life. But we got In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware traded in. I know it's an adult horror novel, which I'm always down for because that's like one of my favorite genres, but it wasn't super high on my list. I was curious about it, and then we got it traded in for 95 cents, so I spent even less on it, and I mean, it's justifiable, dude. Then, one that I had never wanted before, but after a whole conversation thing that happened in the day, I ended up getting it. Okay, so this is Survivor by Chuck Palahniuk. I was talking to a coworker of mine, well, my boss, and he was like, hey, have you ever read any of him? And I was like, no, but I really want to, because his books have always intrigued me. One of my favorite movies of all time is Fight Club. So eventually, I plan on reading one of his books. And he was telling me that this book, Survivor, is his favorite by him, and that he's read like a majority, or if not all of his books, and that this is the best one. Excuse me. So, I was like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. And then he left, and apparently he had checked our shelves to see if we had it, so that he could like pick it up for me and like I can get it. And he was like, oh, we don't have it. And I knew that he was checking in the wrong area because we have an end cap for him in the store. So I went there to see if we had it there, and we did. It was $5.50, so I got it for like $3, and I have no idea what this is about, but now this is going to be my first book by him. I always never knew what was going to be the first one I pick up of his, and I'm pretty confident now in this one because, you know, I was recommended it, which is always cool. So there's like a little story tied behind it, and he was so happy when I bought it. So, you know, I'll have something to talk about, like a book to talk about with other people if I read this. The last 4 are from Dollar Tree, which Dollar Tree is usually always an impulse thing, besides like the very rare moments where they have ones that I've heard of before and I've been wanting for a long time and they haven't had them there for $1. This one I had heard of before. It's called Read Bottom Up by Neil Shaw and Skye Catham. I know that this is a adult contemporary romance novel that is told through mixed media format, so the entire thing is like IMs and text messages, and it's a love story told through that, and it's like about falling in love in the digital age. So I'm probably going to read this this month, now that technically it's February 1st, and see if I like it, and if not, I can get rid of it. But this one has always been one that's intrigued me because of the title, and now I have it for $1. It's going to be really quick because it's just like texts and IMs, so I'm definitely going to read this within the month of February, and yeah. So there wasn't a reason, but I'm excited about it now. This one, I've been wanting to get more middle grade, and it was hardcover for $1, and this is called The Forbidden Library by Django Wexler. The cover is gorgeous. It's about books and a library and stuff, and I think it's about, like, these kids getting trapped in, like, scary books or something. I don't know too much about it, but I'm definitely planning on reading it this year. I want to get into more middle grade, so boom, there it is. And if I don't want it, I can trade it in, and that'll be a lot of credit for like a hardcover book. And the ones that I'm like the last two, I'm like, do I really need these? And I'm gonna like try them out, and if they're not for me, they cost me $1. When I trade them in, I can probably like feel like I gained more money than I lost, because they are brand new, so they'll probably be worth stuff. This is about a woman who suffers from chronic insomnia and apparently amnesia, because she starts seeing all these things, and apparently she's connected to this crime, but she doesn't know how, and she could have apparently killed someone and blocked it out. And I basically, like, when I was into the free bin before I got the job, and the free bin has been like off limits to me, and always have been obsessed with amnesia books. I like things where people don't really know what's going on. So there's this one, and I'm just not sure about it because it's huge. So even though the premise is really interesting to me, I'm going to try it, and if it's not for me, I'm going to trade it and get credit for a book that I will probably be more intrigued in. And then the last one is The Perfect Stranger by Wendy Corsi Staub. I don't know, it's a weird name. It's a cute little mass market paperback. This is an adult, like horror novel, slash thriller about this older woman who is very lonely, and she has a lot of friends through the internet, which I thought was interesting because, you know, kind of putting in like a social media friends through a thriller is a very modern take on doing that. And it's basically where one of them dies, and so all of like the ladies in her little like group chat across the world that they talk to and stuff, they all come together to this one place where the one who died was from, and they go to her funeral to kind of like mourn their friend. And it kind of gets out that one of them is responsible for this woman's death, that they murdered her. And so they don't know which one out of their friends to trust, and, you know, it kind of shows that even if you think you're close with somebody, you don't really know them and stuff like that, and it's just tied in with that whole media format. I've read like the first couple pages to see if this was something I wanted to keep, and so far, it's still here. So if anything, the ones that are very towards the end of this haul, eventually when I start unhauling books and stuff, I don't know why the light's doing that. You might see them go, I might unhaul them, but the first like 15 to 20 books are definitely staying here for good. Thanks for watching. Please like it if you liked it, and subscribe if you aren't already. Bye.